Let's record this beast. Hello, long time no see. This is just a quick video to say hello to all of my new subscribers, several hundred of you. I've got a couple of messages, but first let's have a quick chat about this guy. It's not going to be called the Same Boy. I was quickly made aware there is a fantastic emulation project, and that's going on over at sameboy.github.io. And they got the name first, fair and square. So I'm going to change the name of my retro gaming handheld hardware project to Reboi. And like all good projects, you can find Reboi_handhelds over on Instagram. Look forward to seeing you over there. I have continued to flip-flop on the idea of doing a Kickstarter, and well, now I need to make a better video explaining what the Reboi Colour mod kit is. My first video has much more of a, anyone want this kind of vibe. And now I have all the features and the facts sort of nailed down, and there is evidently some interest, and the name's changed. That video that I need to make might as well be a Kickstarter video. So that's the plan. And that leads me neatly onto the price, the number one question from my first video. I've done the maths a bunch of times. It's quite hard not knowing, how many of something you're going to make, but after looking at what other Raspberry Pi Zero projects are, out there and what they go for, I have landed on £80, which is this much where you possibly live. To be clear, that's 80 quid for a kit of parts, which is everything you need to make a Reboi Colour, including a bunch of tutorials and documentation. But you will need to provide for yourself two key ingredients. You'll need a Game Boy Color shell, either a brand new, third-party one, or an OG Game Boy Color. Installing a Reboi won't prevent you from putting the old Nintendo guts back into an OG console later on, but you do need to modify the case just a little bit, and Game Boys are disappearing and increasing in value as the years go by, so have a good think if you're planning on using an OG console for a Reboi. You'll also need a Raspberry Pi Zero, and the stock situation is finally looking up. I even have two Raspberry Pi Zero 2s on the way to me right now. So the Kickstarter's, it's not going to be up next week. I'm going to take my time, try to avoid, multiple runs of prototyping, and hopefully the Zero 2 will be widely available before I get to Kickstarter, let's say in a couple of months' time. Just to clarify, the Raspberry Pi Zero 1, or just the Raspberry Pi Zero W with no number at all, will work and does Game Boy games fine. But yeah, if you want to be doing sort of, any Sega Genesis stuff or WonderSwan, the WonderSwan has a real hard time on the Zero 1. So yeah, both Raspberry Pi Zeros will work, but the Zero 2 is really the one that you want. The kit includes the motherboard, two batteries, the display, some hardware, some nuts and bolts, and also some 3D printed parts, brackets and standoffs. I'll also include one of those 3D printed cartridges in either grey or clear without any sticker art on the front, but I will put those 3D files up online, so if you wanted to make something even more true to life to go in the back of your Reboi Colour. Just a quick update on my progress, I'm starting all over again. My 3D models and KiCad projects are just getting way too chaotic, so I'm measuring and testing all the fitments and spacings again. I've realised I can use a 3D print of the PCB to verify everything will fit. It's much less guesswork, much less waiting for something to turn up from a PCB fab just to find it's all wrong. This should also mean I've got some really good documentation at the end of the design phase. There are also a few changes that I'm integrating into the next design. I'm going to put these little threaded posts to mount the Raspberry Pi. It's another way of doing the same thing, but it just means everything screws together in like a much more natural way. And I've also found a 3-position rocker type thing that should fit. And this is going to replace the volume wheel, and that should make controlling both the volume and the backlight from a single, control nubbin much easier and a lot more stable. I've also made a breakthrough on the power system. This prototype from the first video does do something when you plug it into charge, but the batteries don't really seem to take a charge. But this PCB verifies the solution I want to use for charging the batteries from USB-C PD power delivery, and it includes all the cell protection circuitry to make this safe. So that's the Reboi Colour. It will be coming to Kickstarter, and it's going to cost 80 quid for the kit. Now I know that's a lot of money, I'm not trying to, kick off a retro gaming empire here. This is a love letter to the Game Boy, and it's aimed at people that want to DIY. If you just want a little box with a small screen and a modern processor inside, well, I'm sure you're already well aware that there are other options available, and you do you, buddy. I'm not going to take it personally. I've also got the domain, reboi.io, and the plan is to have a bunch of Raspberry Pi Zero handhelds. Please don't laugh too hard at the moment. It turns out I'm really quite terrible at web design. Now, when I get around to making the Reboi Colour tutorials, I'll probably start a Reboi channel, just to keep all that stuff sort of neatly, containerized in one place. So what I'm going to do on this channel with a few hundred subscribers, it seems to me like I should try and make some YouTube videos. There's plenty more Game Boy content I would like to make. I recently started a bit of a collection, and all of these need repairs or restoration in some form or another. And I'd like to make sort of a museum style display for all these consoles, once they're working again. I've also been working on this 3D printed handheld, tentatively called the Reboi OPS for open source. I've been making these things in CAD for literally years. And the thing I'm trying to get right at the moment is the buttons. How can you make nice feeling buttons, at home, just with, DIY materials, without needing to spin up a production line in Taiwan to produce these things? So there's a video or two on that I'd like to make, coming this way. And lastly, I do like to think of myself as a little bit of an amateur inventor. I mean, can you guess what this is? Or, what do you think this is supposed to do? These are largely sort of 3D printing projects with a fair amount of electronics and microcontroller wrangling all along the way. Right now, I'm working on turning the batteries from disposable vapes into a power bank. And that's probably the next video I'll put up. I'm quite close to finishing that off. Lastly, I really wanted to just make this update video to say thank you to all the people who have subscribed and left likes and comments. Starting a YouTube channel is a really hard thing, and success is not guaranteed. I just wanted to let you all know before I put out some, other content, that the Reboi Colour is not dead, and in fact that project is only getting bigger. That's it for today. Stay safe and have an excellent day, and know that you are all beautiful people. I'll see you later. Bye bye.